These are small girls from the earthquake affected areas. All of them are orphans. And the main bedding area for the girls. Okay, now the girls have another class that's taking place. So we're just going to show you a glimpse of that. Young girls learning the Quran. Again, the Maulana wants to give these girls just basic, technical knowledge of how to sew a machine. Some basic necessity that if in the future they may need to work in their household or earn a basic livelihood from home, then they can do so. Maulana wants to plan so many of these things, but there's absolutely no funding here. They get a lot of zakat funding, but it goes towards the running of the institute, towards the food and water expenses and flour expenses. They really don't have the money, the spare cash as it were, to put these other projects in place. The biggest problem is the shortage of water for these girls. We are going to show you an area where they're trying to drill a bigger well in the ground, but unfortunately there's no luck in finding more water in this area. And we will take you towards that area later today. Girls are getting ready for a class in the main courtyard. And as you can imagine, vast majority of these are orphans from the Balakot and Kashmir area. And there's only smaller girls here. The bigger girls are not coming out for obvious reasons. So these are all small girls ranging from age 5 to 9 to 10. So there's quite a mix here. They're just getting ready for their main teacher to come and listen to their lesson for the day, as it were. The biggest problem that the Maulana has is to find good proposals so that these girls can find a good religious husband who can look after them in the future. And this is a big responsibility on the shoulders of Maulana Akbar, who's the principal here. And he mentions at times he cannot think straight because it's such a big responsibility. A slight error in judgment could destroy a certain girl's life. So he's always constantly worried and concerned at how he can ensure that these girls get a good education and then end up in a good family. Because after all, there is no mother or father for these children, because in fact they're all orphans here. Vast majority of them are from the Kashmir area. Now all the smaller girls have come into the main courtyard. The total madrasa for the girls is approximately 1,600. So it's quite a big number here. So it's only the small girls that have come out here. As you can see, they're reading the Quran here and trying to memorize the Quran at the same time as well. And none of these children contribute anything towards the madrasa because they're from such poor, deprived background. So the madrasa has to pay for all their costs, and it's a monthly cost that they have to source from zakat funds, from people that give charity, so that this madrasa, a good institute, can keep on going on and on. Just as a side note, I'd just like to mention that all of these girls also live in this madrasa. It's just not this is also a place where they learn the Quran, and they also sleep in the same place as well. And it is totally managed by women. There's no interference from the men's side. The main Maulana, who's always out seeking for funds to keep this madrasa going, to provide food for them and the education. But there's still a lot more that could be done here. Maulana wants to put a system where the girls can learn computer, put in more advanced, teach them more advanced skills, like at least they can sew a machine or make clothes for themselves or their neighborhood or wherever they end up in the rest of their life. So the Maulana has good plans and is hopeful that these inshallah will come in being. The ground floor, just a close look up. This girl here is the smallest from all the girls. She's from the Balakot region, where the earthquake took place. Both her mother and father have both passed away. So the madrasa is in full responsibility of this very small child, very small young child. Back outside the madrasa, overlooking the boys section on my far left hand side. And now we will give you a brief overview of the difficulty that the madrasa is facing, especially for water. We're just going to go back of the madrasa where they're trying to drill so that they can find water. But that's an ad hoc solution. The main solution that the Maulana mentioned is to get a proper government pipeline of water supply, constant water supply, from the main hub, the water hub, directly a pipeline coming into the madrasa, which costs a staggering £200,000. That equates to 2 crore rupees. But they don't have that kind of fund to cater for that. If they get that water supply, that will solve a lot of their problems here, especially for water, because water to some extent is the essence here. They need water for drinking, for the wazoo, to washing themselves. So it's quite an essential thing. To the area where they are drilling for water. This is some of the side streets of the girls' madrasa. Hopefully we will enter into some of these houses to show you how below the poverty line that these people are living in. Okay, now the Maulana will take us, Maulana Akbar, on the side of the girls' madrasa, as you can see overlooking here. And it's quite a bit of a walk, so I might just have to pause. This is the back end of the girls' madrasa, where the 1,600 girls are living and gaining their Islamic knowledge. And over the other side is the red building is the boys section, which house 1,000. This is a house just behind, if you can view, just behind the main madrasa, where the teachers that are teaching in here, they live. Hopefully we can go inside there, but if you can look, the roof is made of metal here, and during the hot season when the temperature reaches up to about 35 degrees, then that hot metal becomes boiling, and you can imagine the people living inside there, the women, the children, how difficult it must be. Luckily the girls in the main Darul Uloom don't have that problem, but the houses, majority of the houses have roofs that are made of metal, which probably makes it very high temperature inside during the hot seasons.